one of the reasons I wanted to talk here is because the last couple of years, as I think most people know, Voice123 has always been looking to see what is the next step in AI, how is AI going to shape the voiceover industry, and what is our role in it. Like forever, we've had a mission in Voice123 that's all about crafting the future of voiceover, and it felt like the last couple of years this has become more of an activistic mission, especially when it relates to AI. So one of the things that we saw early doors is the technology is going to go so fast. There's going to be so many different companies and that are going to experiment with this. So many different creative people are going to do wonderful things with it. It's going to be hard for governments and any kind of legal framework to catch up with how we're doing this. You can see it on every different level in society, on all the way from kids using ChatGPT to write their essays, to voice actors auditioning with AI voiceovers. It's a global phenomenon, and we realized, okay, if we want to set the foundations for a healthy way of integrating AI into the voiceover industry, we need to think about security first. And that's where the Voice Authenticity Initiative, which is a very hard thing to say for a Dutch with a hard S, how that came about. That's something that Adobe started. Adobe started it from a designer perspective, and it's all about the idea that we can trace back authenticity to the creator. And it means very practically putting fingerprints on content you create. And that's something that we have applied to Voice123 as well. We released basically software that runs on a backend that doesn't change any of the formatting, that allows us to put a fingerprint on every single audio file that is going through Voice123. So in case there is misuse or in case there is doubt on where it came from, we sort of have a history of it. Once we have the technology, we thought it's going to be great to implement. It's going to be quite easy, but then we realized, okay, Voice123 has been around for a long time. We're trying to go back just 2 or 3 years and we're already signing like 10 million audio files. Wow. There's so much content being created and so much voiceover being done that it's almost hard to go back. But our goal is to go all the way back. We want to make sure that there's like a logbook or a voice vault of all the voiceover that has been created, at least on Voice123. That even if you're not necessarily booking work on Voice123, but you get to a place where you want to store some of your samples or demos there, that we can do it that way. That was our plan. For AI was we need to have security first. And out of this first project about Voice Authenticity Initiative, it's called that way because that's how Adobe called it and we banked on the same name. Based on that, we learned that we can almost, do you remember Shazam?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I use it all the time still.
I mean, I still use it. Yeah, but there might be a whole generation out there that doesn't know. So we realized out of this, we can create something similar for your voice, where we can, with all the audio files that are on Voice123, we can get pretty close to saying, okay, this is Heidi with 99% accuracy. Even if the voice file is not created on Voice123, we can you can log in saying, hey, I can hear this audio of myself. Let me upload it into this system and see if this is me, or if this is the robot version of me or the AI version of me. So we've been building a lot of these tools these last couple of months, years, to lay a foundation in the ecosystem of voiceover, so that when we get to the place where people want to start selling their AI voiceover model with consent from the voice actor themselves, they have an extra set of tools that gives them an extra layer of security. So I'm very excited about finally releasing some of these tools in the Voice123 ecosystem.
So let me try and say back to you what I think it is as a non-techie person, to see if everyone else can understand this too. So basically what happens is if somebody, an actor goes and creates like an audition on Voice123, submits it to the client, there's an automatic piece of code that goes into that sample, so that way that client cannot use it to create a synthetic voice or use it for their project. Like there would be a way to track it to make sure that doesn't happen. Is that kind of correct, or?
It's more that when it happens, you have a way to bring it back to, hey, this is where it got created.
Gotcha.
And we're like, that's phase one. The next phase is that we can actually trace whether it's being used, but that would, like, we don't have access to YouTube, for example, yet to see where it's being used, or on some of these other streaming places, or wherever the voiceover gets sent out into the ether. So the checkpoint is more traceability, and that's phase one. And the next step is to trace it all the way. That, let's say you can hear a generated voice that sounds something similar like yourself. You can say, this was used with my voice model. So that's where we want to get to, because we see that some companies are looking into your own website and trying to download those kind of audio files, and we want to make sure that there's always a way to trace it back to the original file. So one is a fingerprint. I would say that's more logical.